The 2015 season of the Australasian Superbike Championship has been a battle between two great Australian champions. Coming from a motorcycle racing family, Troy Herfoss won his first road racing title in 2010 on a Suzuki GSXR 600. This year, Troy Herfoss stares down the barrel of his first ever Australasian Superbike Championship.
Look at the speed of that Team Honda Racing entry.
As he looks for a pass down the inside, oh yes he does! The racing career of Wayne Maxwell started back in 1995. After success on both Honda and Kawasaki, Maxwell really showed his talent in 2013, winning the title in the Superbike category on a Suzuki GSXR 1000, and a year later on a Honda CBR 1000 RR. This year, Maxwell is gunning for something truly unique. 3 back-to-back Superbike championships on 3 different brands of motorcycle. Wayne Maxwell, he makes a double pass now to move up to second. This is great stuff. The 2015 Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike Championship has been an intense battle between these two great talents. The South Australian track of Malala set the stage for a great battle between Herfoss and Maxwell, with the defending champ showing the potential of the new R1.
Up the inside goes Maxwell. He forces Herfoss a little wide on the Honda.
As the championship continued, it was Herfoss who truly dominated his home round at Wakefield Park in Goulburn. Troy Herfoss, he won race number 1 and now becomes the governor of Goulburn as he wins race number 3. In Victoria, the championship battle truly heated up as Maxwell and Herfoss fought it out on track. But it didn't end there, as emotions ran high after the race.
You might see some angst between us at times, but deep down inside it's only because it's just brotherly fighting and we love each other, and I hope that he feels the same way.
So after 15 Superbike races in 6 rounds across the country, the championship will go down to the wire as Herfoss and Maxwell come into the final round on equal points.
And look at this, Herfoss up the inside and takes up the run-in.
Maxwell, the defending champ, moves up another position out. Good pass in the main straight. Welcome to the grand final of the 2015 Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike Championship. It has been an amazing year in the Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike Championship, and it's fitting we head to the final round with tied points. Hi everyone and welcome to Sydney Motorsport Park, the final round of this year's championship. Lance Robertson and Phil Harlem join me. A beautiful day here for racing, and we're going something a bit different into the evening tonight, boys. Welcome.
Yes, it's certainly looking forward to this one, and as you said, it's going to go right down to the wire. Maxwell, he's got all the pressure on board his shoulders at the moment, with Team Yamaha expecting to wrestle that crown off Team Honda.
Yeah, and if you look at the social media coming into this event, Troy Herfoss, from leading the championship all year, is suddenly the underdog. Everyone thinks that Wayne Maxwell's new R1M is going to be the bike to beat here at Sydney Motorsport Park.
And something a bit different, racing into twilight conditions. We've got a fairly strong breeze around the course. We check it out. Tied on points between Maxwell and Herfoss. Allerton in third, Halliday, Jones, Jamie Stouffer, Matty Walters back to Sean Condon, Evan Biles and Ben Burke. But it's been about those two guys at the top all season long.
Let's not forget Cube Racing, Mike Jones, and of course Matt Walters on the KMF finance machine. They're battling it out for the privateer honours as well.
Time to check out qualifying from this one, and Mad Mike Jones qualified in 3rd position aboard the Cube Racing Kawasaki.
Yeah, that was courtesy of his 3rd place finish in the Saturday qualifying race. In 2nd place, though, was Jamie Stouffer, who's looking very, very fast. And the Hondas, surprisingly, looking very, very quick out onto the straight here and being able to maintain that speed at the end of the straight.
His fellow Team Honda rider, Troy Herfoss, leads the championship now, courtesy of qualifying first. Winning that all-important Saturday qualifying race, he now has 1 point lead over Wayne Maxwell.
Block him off, you've done a great job.
After yesterday's qualifying, Team Honda Racing's Troy Herfoss leads the championship by 1 point. While Yamaha Racing's Wayne Maxwell got off to a bad start and qualified in 8th position.
Yeah, look, we didn't do ourselves any favours yesterday, having a small fall down on lap 2, but I mean, it was good to be able to finish, and starting from grid spot 8, it's going to be a tough day on the Yamaha R1M.
The only mistake he's made all year was yesterday, so it's taken 6 or 7 rounds, but yeah, it's a new day today, so we've reset. We've got 3 races today, and we all know Wayne and Glenn, and they're real fighters, and they've been around for a long time, so it's going to be a really hard battle today.
The 2015 Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike Championship has been an interesting battle between 2 hard competitors and close friends.
I respect Wayne, as much as anyone else, if not more. But in saying that, we're really fierce competitors, and that shows generally in the couple of minutes after the race. But we're friends, and but we're hard competitors, and I think we both want to be seen as hard competitors and enjoy our racing.
Today we're just going to have to fight like we haven't fought before. It's never come down this tight for me in the past, and the Honda guys start super fast, and they try to get some clear air, and when they got clear air they are super fast, so I'm going to have to try to get my way through the traffic and get in there and hustle.
According to a lot of the social media, I'm now the underdog, so if that's the way it is, I'm happy there. But we're at the last round now. There's no rounds to go. For us, it's about winning the championship from here, and it's a big thing for Honda with this bike. This bike's 7 years old now, and it's still proving to be one of the best bikes out there.
Well, bikes are getting set. They're coming onto the grid now for the iPhone Superbike Championship, race number 1 on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Sydney Motorsport Park. It's going to be an amazing day. Championship is on the line. Bryony Ingerson has joined us as part of our coverage this weekend, and she's down the grid with our pole man, Troy Herfoss.
Troy, you are just that much ahead of your rival Wayne Maxwell, who's starting from position 8, but is that going to mean much when it comes to the first lap?
Not particularly. I know Wayne's going to make a good start, and he's been fast most of the weekend. He was a bit unlucky yesterday, but yeah, we had good pace in the race, so it's promising for today, and these hotter conditions generally suit me, so it's going to be interesting, and just got to make a clean start, and I think we're fast from the front, so we just got to try and make it out of the front early.
Wayne Maxwell, Yamaha Racing Development. We're a long way back here. It's probably the first time all year you've been back here.
Yeah, it's the furthest I've been back all year after our small mistake yesterday in the qualifying race, so we're just going to do our best, try to get away clean, and try to catch those guys at the front. They were quick yesterday, and we're just going to have to put it all on the line if we want to be in there with a shot in this championship.
You get the feeling the championship's on the line today, thanks to Cam Williams down on the grid and to Bryony Ingerson, as there is the live points as it looks right now. 1 point after claiming the pole position for today's race as we clear the grid, guys.
Yeah, it's one of those strange ones too this weekend, because not only are they battling for the round win, they've also got that championship on their mind. Herfoss starts from his teammate Jamie Stauffer in first and second. Mad Mike Jones and Crew Halliday round out that front row of the grid.
Second row of the grid, Glenn Allerton, the second of the Team Yamaha riders, Matt Walters and Benny Burke, of course, doing a great job as part and parcel of the Privateer Championship. All set, ready to go. First of 12 laps, 3 races to determine this year's Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike champion.
Yeah, a couple of good starts there from the front row of the grid. Crew Halliday up the inside. He'll lead them through turn 1 on the Yamaha Racing Team machine. Bike number 6 was very fast in qualifying on Friday afternoon for the Saturday program. Unfortunately, couldn't keep that pace going, but he's looking very, very determined early on in this one.
Stauffer made a great pass as we jump on board the Honda onboard camera here as he takes the lead, and Mad Mike Jones moves up into the 3rd place straight away. So work around the backside of the circuit here on lap 1.
I know it's only lap number 1 of 12, but I tell you what, Maxwell's got a hell of a lot of ground to cover here. He's trying to get around the outside of his teammate Allerton there through DID chains, working up the hill towards Berwick Leathers turn. It is a left-hander that creeps up over the top of the hill into the newly shaped Kawasaki corner. A 90-degree left-hander already, a la Rossi style, has Halliday with his left foot out.
Yeah, and also how fast was Jamie Stauffer out of turn 5 and up the hill towards Kawasaki turn 6, went past Crew Halliday on the brakes and is now pinned the ears back. The man from Curry trying to break them early in this race.
Now we're going to see team tactics here from the respective teams.
No way in the world, because Crew Halliday and Glenn Allerton both are determined to try and win this round. Jamie Stauffer may help out his teammate, but at the same time, he really wants to win and finish the season, which has been a difficult one for him on a high.
That's the answer I was looking for.
I think you'll find that Herfoss has got a lot on his shoulders at the moment, a lot of pressure behind him from Mike Jones. Mike Jones, he's a bit of a dark horse here at Sydney Motorsport Park. That Cube Racing Kawasaki has been developed very well. As we're on board with Jamie Stauffer, you can see the drag down the straight there. Halliday not able to get up close enough to him, and it's still Stouffer that currently leads this race.
That was the point I made about Jamie Stouffer in qualifying. The Honda gets out onto the straight so well that the Yamaha, with its, despite its top speed advantage, can't seem to get down the inside at the end of the straight. And we know that Paul Free and the guys at MotorLogic work so hard on getting every possible maximum amount of traction and also handling out of those Hondas.
Herfoss made a great start here. In fact, it was Halliday who made the better out of everybody. This is the view looking back at Mike Jones. So on the BC Performance bikes coming through the field too. Great start from those guys as well.
Yeah, I was going to mention Benny Burke. What a great start for him on machine number 60. He's right up behind the Kawasaki in front of him. Lost a little bit of ground through turn number 1, coming down into Iphone, the first of 2. The left-hander, then the right-hander. Back to live action now, and there's our championship leader, albeit by 1 point, with Maxwell chasing his tail.
He was 9th in last year's championship, Mike Jones, and runs third as now we see a pass down the main straight. Been waiting for that for a moment. So now Maxwell moves up a position. Keep in mind, guys, he's looking to go 3 championships back-to-back today.
Yeah, and where they are in the champion or in the race points and that, it's only going to be about 1 point difference. So they're probably not too much difference between them at the moment. And you know that these guys want to try and take that psychological advantage. It started from first practice on Friday as we go on board now on Wayne Maxwell's machine. As you can see him go flying past Troy Herfoss. That's the speed differential between the Yamaha R1M and also the Honda at the end of the straight.
And that pass effectively puts him 1 point now in front of Troy Herfoss. This is going to be exciting over the next 2.5 races. I guess you could say another 30-odd laps to determine this year's champion.
They're going to seesaw that championship battle right to the very end as we come back to the main straight here to complete the 4th lap here. Absolutely warm conditions here today. In fact, it's actually hot outside. We're lucky inside this air-conditioned box as Jones pulls out the slipstream and moves up to 2nd place now.
Yeah, plenty of pace on board the Cube Racing Kawasaki as he literally just pulled out of the slipstream and blew Crew Halliday away towards the end of the Swann Insurance Straight. And look how closely he's closed up onto the back of Jamie Stouffer's Team Honda machine as they head down now in towards turn 2. If anything we knew about yesterday's racing, they were pushing that harder down into turn 2. The amount of times that they were offline, running wide into corners, was absolutely unbelievable. I expect more of the same as this race starts to wear on.
I reckon there's 3 real main reasons why you've got to keep your eye on that number 9, of course, Mad Mike Jones on the Cube Racing Kawasaki. First and foremost, he wants to reward his team for the efforts over the year. He wants to win this race. Secondly, he wants to win the Privateers Cup. And thirdly, he wants to go out on a championship winning note. Look at that, Herfoss up the inside, and now takes up the running ahead of Maxwell. That will effectively put him back in the championship lead. Just continuing on with Jones and what I was talking about, Cube Racing, they're going to Ducatis in 2016.
Wow, I think that was a hard but fair overtake, and he's just gone one further position. Halliday ran a metre wide on the apex of Stay Upright turn 9, and Troy Herfoss was straight in there, and he's now put a very important buffer between himself and his championship rival Wayne Maxwell on board bike number 1.
So he's lit the wick and starts to carve his way through the field as we approach half race distance in race 1 of the grand final weekend of the Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike Championship as Mike Jones gets set on a slipstream for perhaps a challenge at the lead.
There's been plenty of action in this iPhone-sponsored Superbike class throughout 2015, and I think it's just going to get bigger and better with the 2.5 races left. Look at that. Halliday used up all of the black stuff there, almost ran onto the yellow line on the outside. He's trying very hard back there in 4th.
And you can see how much it cost him too, Lance, couldn't you, as he ran that wide on the exit of turn 1, and Troy Herfoss was able to make up crucial metres as we look at Mad Mike Jones now lead them across of the top of the West End Mazda Hill, and Jamie Stouffer has now been relegated back to 2nd place. But the sight of Jamie Stouffer drifting that bike 2 wheels through turn 1 is absolutely spectacular, and he's now got his teammate Troy Herfoss right on his ducktail for company.
Well, I think you'll find that Stouffer's going to be riding shotgun here for a while for Herfoss, letting Herfoss just settle back, get into a race rhythm. There's still 5.5 more laps to go in this one. He doesn't want to chew those tyres up too early.
Good 3-bike scrap going off the lead. So it's the Kawasaki of Jones, the 2 Hondas of Stouffer and Herfoss now battling it out here for the championship as well as the race win here today as they exit the hairpin and make the run behind the back of the pit complex.
Well, as we watch Troy Herfoss sit behind Jamie Stouffer, it reminds me of something that Troy Herfoss said to me yesterday morning, and that is, it is a lot easier to follow. Doesn't matter if it's in the race or in the championship. It's always harder for the person that's out leading. He's tucked in now right behind his teammate I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually having a little bit of a rest for a lap or two before he mounts an all-out assault on taking victory in this race.
Well, if you cast your minds back over the previous 6 rounds, guys, you'll find that Herfoss has been the leader in the points throughout the entire 6 rounds previous to this, and he's been feeling a bit of pressure coming into the latter stages. So it's interesting. Look at him drive hard up the inside of Jones now, down into Ipony, hangs Jones out to dry. He cuts back into the apex, and following suit there is the second of the Hondas, Troy Herfoss.
Well, that was all about the exit speed of Jamie Stauffer out onto the straight. Look at that. He's a multiple Australian dirt track champion and using all of those skills, but it goes back to what we've been saying all year about the Honda, how it gets so hard on the gas so early, and the sight of him drifting it through there 260 odd kilometres an hour plus is absolutely spectacular.
Well, with Wayne Maxwell back there, man, it's 5 points difference now. How important is it going to be for crew? There you go. Right on cue. Halliday puts his right leg out and says to the boss, go through, you need the points.
That's good team play from Yamaha, so he needs the points to get back up here. It's 5 points, as Lance touched on. The two Hondas scrapping with Mike Jones right now. Stauffer retakes the lead with a lap and a half to go in race 1.
Well, the other thing is, though, too, I think the distance for Wayne Maxwell is too much now. But Crew Halliday wasn't really holding him up. He's probably just giving him a couple of points, but there's no way that Maxwell can make up that difference now to the top 3. I think 4th is about as good as he's going to be able to do.
337 versus 334, so it's made a difference of 1 point, that passing manoeuvre.
Herfoss has dropped back. Look how much he's dropped off the back of Jamie Stauffer's machine. Whether he's had a problem coming out onto the start-finish straight or not, but there is a big distance now, and Wayne Maxwell could possibly get up to the back of Troy Herfoss's. Stauffer slides it up the inside, but as we said, runs a fraction wide in turn 2, comes back now on the outside of Mike Jones. Oh, what an unbelievable pass from Jamie Stauffer.
3 lead changes at about 150 metres. That was awesome.
And here comes Herfoss. Look at the body language on all 3 of them. Almost 3 wide over West End Mazda Hill, down into DID chains for the last time. Look how wide Herfoss has gone, trying to get his nose up the inside in Berwick leathers on the run up to Kawasaki.
3 turns ago, Troy Herfoss's challenge for the race win was done and dusted. They both ran wide in turn 2, a big pass by Jamie Stauffer, and he's brought his teammate right back into the equation.
So a couple of passing opportunities perhaps left. Stauffer with Mike Jones all over the back, and Herfoss thinking about the championship, but then with a real shot of winning race 1 here.
Listen to the revs build up as they exit that turn number 9. The run down Dunlop for the last time. Will Jamie Stauffer be able to hold up Mike Jones enough to be able to let Herfoss through into Bell Helmet's corner for the last time?
Well, Mike Jones's bike's really fast at the end of the straight, but watch Jamie Stauffer get on the gas a good 20 metres before everybody else, pin his ears back and just go for the finish line. Can Jones slipstream him?
Here they come to the finish line. Stauffer pulls out to try and break the slipstream. I think he's just going to hold on till he does by a bike length, and Stauffer takes first race honours here in Sydney.
0.126 of a second between Jamie Stauffer in first and Mike Jones in second.
And Jones, of course, winning in second place will take a further advantage in that all-important Privateers Cup. Here's the results. Stauffer, Jones, Herfoss, Maxwell. Halliday doing that passing manoeuvre or allowing Maxwell to get past him. Allerton, Walters, Davidson, and, of course, Evan Biles.
The race I had with Mike then, like towards the last part of the race, was really good. The tyres was greasy as anything out there, and I knew I had to get Mike on that last lap where I did. Otherwise I would have been pushing to get him, so it all paid off and we got the win. It's good.
Well done to Jamie Stauffer, striking first blood here today in Sydney. The championship is 3 points now between Maxwell and Herfoss. We're off to a break. Race 2 is after the break. Been a consistent year for the KMF Finance Kawasaki rider of Matt Walters. Coming into the final round, he sits second in the Pro-Am Championship, trailing Mike Jones by just 8 points.
I think we've got a good enough bike to do the job here today. I think Glenn's got the bike working perfectly. I think we should be able to do a really good job and come over the championship.
The Pro-Am Championship is aimed for the privateer entries in the Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike Championship. And in 2015, it's going to be a hard fought-out battle. What would it mean for Walters to walk away with a Pro-Am title today?
Yeah, it's definitely a hard task to beat the factory guys, and it's a good reward to beat the factory guys, but I think winning the Privateers Cup does mean a lot to us because it's obviously a Privateer Championship, and being a Privateer team, it does mean a lot to the family and the business. So I think if we can go and beat the factory guys today and win the championship, it'll be a great weekend for us.
had a fairly strong season here today in the championship for the privateers. Anyway, Matty Walters, we just caught up with right there. Race 2 is counting down. That breeze is going to aid him on the main straight here as the Glitz and Glamour adorn this grid, getting set for race number 2 of the final round of this year's championship, and the shadows getting longer in the distance. So we count down to this one. Jamie Stouffer won the first race earlier today. Teams are going to be talking about tyres. Well, Stouffer won the first race. Can he make it 2 in a row? Let's head down to Cam Williams. He's on the grid now talking with the Honda racer.
Jamie Stouffer, fantastic performance in the first one today. Obviously, that first turn gets a little bit crowded, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. 3 of us made great starts, and it was pretty tight in there, but we had a great race and, ended up coming away with the win. It was pretty hectic towards the end there, and hopefully we can get out there in this one and go for it and get a win as well.
Just picked up Mad Mike Jones is running some green tyres for this one. What's your situation and your rubber at this point?
Yeah, no, I've got second-hand tyres, so but I mean, there's not a lot of grip in the track either way, so we'll just see how we go.
Yep, tyres. They're going to be the big talking point. I touched on it just prior to that interview with Cam Williams on the grid. And boys, conditions outside really, really warm, and those tyres are going to be fairly sticky by the end of this.
They are, but also too, you were mentioning about the shadows starting to lengthen. We are starting this race after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Track temperature has actually come down 4 degrees from the race that was held earlier on today. And I think you'll find that Troy Herfoss, he actually ran his qualifying tyre in the first race, so he'll have new rubber either in this one or in race number 3.
Matt Walters, of course, doing a great job taking up the battle to Mike Jones in the Privateers Cup or the Pro-Am Cup. Here's the way they'll start. Troy Herfoss ahead of Jamie Stouffer, Mike Jones and Crew Halliday on the front row of the grid.
Back on the second row of the grid, it's Glenn Allison, Matty Walters, Ben Burke, Wayne Maxwell in that 8th position. William Davidson, of course, Evan Biles rounding out this quality field as they take up their positions on the grid, ready for race number 2.
Hasn't Will Davidson done a great job in the B-grade category throughout this year in this racing?
Yeah, I definitely think that he'll be in A-grade next year, and we'll be giving it to some of these Superbike riders as he gets more and more used to the R1 as we blast off on race number 2 on board with Wayne Maxwell. Look at those fast Kawasaki privateers in front of him. That's going to slow him up in the early stages of this race as they all stream through turn 1, and he is in, hasn't probably improved, he's back in about 8th place. Oh, coming together there between Matty Walters and Jamie Stouffer.
4 wide down into Waipone for the first time. Herfoss has got out of there like a startled gazelle off that start line. Here comes his teammate up the inside of one of the Yamaha riders on board with Matt Walters looking behind him. I think you'll find that is actually Glenn Allerton that's up into 3rd placing. And look at Matty Walters up into 4th and Benny Burke in 5th.
Gee, the Privateers are out to play on grand final day, aren't they? That was a belter of a start from Benny Burke back there in the 60 as Mike Jones moves up a position. Those guys still battling it out now for the Privateers Championship.
Well, it is, and all 3 of them are certainly in contention as Matt Walters has a bit of a look up the inside of Glenn Allerton, who looked into turn 2 like he'd been fired out of a cannon. He fired in there so quickly and was able to hold the bike relatively online, but this is the man we're on board with now, Wayne Maxwell, the series champion from last year, trying to get some points back on Troy Herfoss in this race, and he's got a lot of work to do. He's got his teammate in front of him. Well, not anymore. Crew Halliday's run wide and Maxwell moves up 1 position.
Yeah, very important corner, that one, the Stay Upright Ride Days corner, the only one of 2 right-handers here at Sydney Motorsport Park. If you don't get it correct, you lose a lot of momentum down that Dunlop back straight.
Back to the main straight they come to finish off lap number 1. Yep, that was just lap number 1, folks. We got 11 more remaining here at Sydney in race 2, and Jamie Stouffer, bike 2, currently in 2nd. And look at the slipstreaming now. The guy's going to just blitz past him.
Well, it was interesting there to see both Mad Mike Jones and Matty Walters weren't able to get past the Yamaha M1 of Glenn Allerton. I know that Glenn Willing's been working extremely hard on the setup of the Kawasaki to try and get more grip out of Matty Walters' bike, and the way he came out of turn 1 there, he's actually got into turn 2 way too hot because he was so fast in there, and Jamie Stouffer's gone back up 1 position.
Well, both he and Mad Mike Jones, one on either side of the Honda rider, Stouffer in front. He's ended up coming out ahead of them, but Walters has not given up the chase just yet as he goes down into DID chains.
Replay of the start here, guys. We saw it from Wayne Maxwell's perspective. Wasn't the greatest start, but I was more impressed with Benny Burke's effort here. This is the view from Halliday.
Yeah, there goes Ben Burke flying up the inside. He was out of a slingshot the way he went up the inside there, and also you can see Matt Walters on the inside there. But look at this overtake as Wayne Maxwell gets up the inside. The slow motion footage here at Sydney Motorsport Park today has been spectacular.
You could see it in the eyes there, virtually, if you could see through that tinted visor of Crew Halliday. Oh no, not Wayne Maxwell again.
It's blown the championship out. That was pretty telling. Left-hand side of screen right now. So Herfoss starting to break the back of Wayne Maxwell's championship effort as Matty Walters blazes on by to make another pass up down to turn 1. This is unbelievable stuff.
And we saw how fast Mad Mike Jones' bike was in the first race, but then he wasn't even able to slay in the slipstream of Matty Walters' machine as he used Glenn Allenton's slipstream to try and get up the inside. But look at Allenton running a fraction wide there. Sorry, it was Jamie Stouffer's slipstream he used, but Allenton just ran a fraction wide. But on board now with our race leader, and that is Troy Herfoss, the man that is trying to take out more points in this championship. And at the moment, Wayne Maxwell has got a lot of work to do if he wants to minimise the damage in this one.
Well, this is going to maximise his championship hopes, and Matt Walters, he's trying very hard as well. Up the inside into second place now. He needs to be victorious ahead of Mad Mike Jones if he's going to have... Oh, look at that, Allerton up the inside again. What I'm getting at there is Walters needs to finish in front of Jones if he's going to have any chance at all of taking out the Pro-Am.
Yeah, of course, 5 points the difference between... 3 points the difference between first and second. He needs all of those as we look back from Jamie Stouffer's machine at Mad Mike Jones as he comes up the inside. Oh, he's obviously got a lot of confidence in the front end of that Cube Racing Kawasaki as he just turned it in very, very tight there. Can Jamie, who had the better line, come back on the Dunlop straight? No, Mad Mike Jones' bike's too fast.
Somebody just dropped off one of the bikes and on the run down to the final set of turns. Hopefully it won't hinder whoever's bike it came off. We look at Allerton. We look at Matty Walters having his season best effort here today on bike number 12. We jump on board the KMF Finance entry. Third position, and watch him use the slipstream here.
14,500 revs on board Matty Walters' Kawasaki Connection, Kawasaki Motor Finance ZX10 as they blasted on down the straight, and he was just able to get up the inside and get sideways on the exit of turn 1. That is absolutely spectacular stuff.
Out of Ippone, turn 2, up into Ippone, turn 3. Only 2 right-handers in the early stages. They're both very important. That's one of them. Up over West End Mazda Hill. Look at Jones up the inside of Allerton now down into DID Chains.
Well, he can see the Pro-Am Championship lead just ahead of him now, and Jones has closed up right onto the back of Matty Walters' Kawasaki ZX10. So the two Kawasaki's now pinning their ears back, trying to go after our race leader, Troy Herfoss. Maxwell is starting to close in. He's almost onto the back of Jamie Stouffer, and then he'll have his teammate Glenn Allerton to deal with. And as you asked before, Matt, there's no team orders in Team Yamaha, and Glenn Allerton, as we saw from early on in this race, he's desperate to try and chalk up a victory here at his home circuit.
It's evident right now as we come down to turn 9. Mike Jones in third position. We look inside, stay upright turn, and the run behind the back of the pits. Some of these wicked super slow-mo shots. There is the man who's leading this championship and leading race number 2 right now, Troy Herfoss for Team Honda Racing.
Oh, we've gone down. Is that Crew Halliday we're on board with there, and he has gone down at turn 9, the same corner that claimed his teammate Wayne Maxwell yesterday in the qualifying race.
Ironically enough, stay upright corner, and he's down and out.
Didn't take the advice, did he? Main straight, half race distance as here comes Cube Racing, Australian Outdoor Living Kawasaki's Mike Jones, straight past him.
There goes Mike Jones, and into the lead.
How quick was that?
Look at the lead that he's managed to pull out. And just one corner, Herfoss, he's run wide. Oh no, it looks like I may have missed a gear going down the gearbox, and he's slipped back so many positions. He's now got his championship rival Wayne Maxwell 1 position ahead. So from first in the race to 5th in one move. That's a false neutral.
That's a false neutral. Absolutely. Only at about 260 Ks.
Oh, I can't think of a more scary place at Sydney Motorsport Park for that to happen. But how quick did he regather himself and got back on the gas?
Massive championship implications now. He's dropped back behind Allerton, and crucially, Wayne Maxwell. He gets 1 spot up here, but this is big, big news for the series.
Whilst watching that replay, Maxwell's managed to get up in front of Allerton. Allerton almost closed the door really hard on Troy Herfoss behind him.
But that was desperation with a capital D, wasn't it? Into Kawasaki corner. You could see Herfoss, the eyes were aglaze underneath that bell helmet, and he was really determined to try and get past at all costs.
So suddenly Mike Jones finds himself at the pointy end of the field. That's how it looks championship-wise. It's back to 1 point. As our championship rivals come onto the main straight here.
Well, the good thing for Troy Herfoss is that he has got a couple of laps now to try and get back up to the front of this race where he was. But Matty Walters sitting in second place. And as we've seen, that Kawasaki is very rapid. It is not going to be easy for Wayne Maxwell to get past. And we're now heading into the back of the circuit, which is commonly known as Honda territory.
In inverted commas, the privateers are leading the race.
This is unreal.
Unreal.
Oh, they love nothing more than taking it to the full factory riders, and that's exactly what we're doing at the moment. Herfoss tries to go up the inside at turn 2, can't quite do it. He's now got to sit back into the slipstream and try and get a good run across the top of West End Mazda Hill and down into turn 4.
Maxwell, he's got the pressure of not only defending, he needs to attack as well. If he can get up and around the outside, inside, over the top, just like that, then he's going to do his championship aspirations no end of good.
Right on cue, he goes past Matty Walters. That puts him up to second place now. And down the inside goes Herfoss.
Well, you could read that like a book. It was always going to have to happen. The Kawasaki gets bettered in Kawasaki corner. Herfoss simply had no option. He has to go with Maxwell.
Down towards the stay upright. We take a replay here of that action earlier on where Herfoss pushes his way up the inside of Allerton. He's chasing hard on Maxwell. He's very, very strong in this area of the circuit.
Oh, that was a replay of the one that just happened where he got up the inside of Matt Walters on board the Kawasaki. And look at this slow motion action. Look how close they are. Herfoss's front tyre was almost rubbing on the rear end of Maxwell's R1.
Quite incredible pictures coming out there, the Yamaha and the Honda. So round we go again, across the top of the hill and down to turn 4 and 5. This one's far from done.
It's completely outrageous when the guy in 6th position is still well and truly in with a good chance of getting up to 2nd place.
Allerton got up the inside of Walters there. He's being dusted around a little bit. He's now back to 5th placing because of that.
And Benny Burke's right back in the battle as well, closing up onto the back of Jamie Stouffer's machine. Herfoss! Oh, what an overtake. That was very determined. And also, well, just like we saw in the first race, hard but fair.
Well, we use a cliche of swapping leather brands or swapping mudguards and things like that. Quite literally, there's an example.
But they're racing so hard, but they're still racing so clean. They know that one mistake from either is going to cost a championship today as we ride on board with Herfoss. He's second. Maxwell is in third, but in striking distance now with 1 lap to go.
Looking back from Troy Herfoss's bike there, we're starting to get that sun obviously setting in the west. How big an important part is that going to play, especially in race number 3 still to come?
Well, it's going to play a big part, as also is this run down the Swann Insurance start-finish straight. Here comes Maxwell, tucked in behind the slipstream. Up the inside he goes of Troy Herfoss, moves up 1 further position. This is going to have a big championship implication. We're now starting the final lap, and Wayne Maxwell has moved up into 2nd place. 2 points the difference between 2nd and 3rd.
And look how far, up the inside goes Herfoss again. Can he hold the line? The answer is no. Up the inside goes Maxwell, round the outside, now trying to chop back. Look at this side by side, beg your pardons. He wants this 2nd place come hell or high water.
That just goes to show how good the handling of that Honda is. We saw Jamie Stouffer do it in race 1. Herfoss has repeated it in race 2.
Incredible shots.
I was going to make mention of how far in front Mad Mike Jones is, but who cares? This is where the real battle is.
Is Mad Mike Jones in this race? Look at this replay. This is unbelievable. Herfoss goes up the inside, runs really wide at the apex of turn 2, but then manages to square the corner off, get back up the inside of Wayne Maxwell. That is the overtake of the race.
3 lead changes in 2 corners. The Australasian Superbike Championship absolutely going off in the final round for 2015.
And look at this, Benny Burke up onto the back there now of Matty Walters. Troy Herfoss, Team Honda Racing, 2nd place down into bell helmets for the last time.
I think he's got enough of a lead too over Wayne Maxwell. Maxwell is not even going to be able to get past if he gets the slipstream because the Honda has managed to pull out so much distance in the latter half of this 1 lap.
Meantime, this guy had the racetrack to himself, and Mad Mike Jones does it for Cube Racing Kawasaki. Interesting though, the 2nd and 3rd place guys keep this championship alive.
Glenn Allison gets over there in 4th place, Jamie Stouffer in 5th, but what a race for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, well 5th, 6th and 7th.
And this man, he deserves to celebrate. P2 in race 1 takes victory ahead of Herfoss, Maxwell, Allerton, Stouffer, Walters, Burke, Halliday, Davidson the first of the B graders, and Evan Biles rounds up your top 10.
Oh, it was so hard, man. I put everything on the line then, and didn't have a lot of grip there, but I just kept trying to, not make any mistakes. Such a fine line, as you've seen Troy made a mistake, But yeah, it's awesome. Congrats to Mike and Troy. They rode awesome, and I'm really happy to take 3rd, and we're still in this championship hunt.
Oh, I made that a little bit more difficult than I needed. I just got a bit of a slipstream, and I was up on the way to the corner, and went to pop it down a gear and found false neutral. So somewhere between 5th and 6th gear, and So if anyone who rides a motorcycle knows that 200 and something k an hour, that's really scary.
Absolutely ecstatic with that race. I gave it 100% out there from start to finish, and to come over the win is just amazing. You know, I'm really happy.
Two different winners from two races on grand final day. The final one, it's in twilight conditions. The championship margin is 5 points. You don't want to miss this. Stick around, more after the break. With the final round of the 2015 Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike Championship in full swing, the SA Kawasaki BC Performance team is already looking forward, as their 2016 Superbike lineup will be complemented by five-time New Zealand champ Robbie Bugden and the brand new Kawasaki ZX-10R.
I'm super pumped to be given an opportunity to work with Kelvin and the SA Kawasaki and BC Performance team, riding the brand new ZX-10 Kawasaki. Well, yeah, I couldn't be happier.
After a year away from the Australasian Superbike Championship, will Bugden and his new Kawasaki ZX-10R be on the pace in 2016?
It's going to be interesting when I get on the bike. Like I say, I've sort of probably had 2 months off the bike now, but we've got a pretty good testing schedule coming up, so I can get to know the new ZX-10. So by the time we get to February, we should be ready to roll.
Really looking forward to seeing Robbie Bugden here next year in the Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike champion, the five-time New Zealander aboard the new Kawasaki. Well, we're just moments away from the final race. Bryony Ingerson is down with our points leader, Troy Herfoss.
You don't need reminding that there's just 5 points difference between yourself and Wayne Maxwell, and you are this close to clinching your first Superbike title.
Oh, thanks for reminding me.
In case you forgot.
Yeah, it's been a very, very good day so far, and obviously the main objective is to be in front of Wayne, and I've missed a few opportunities. Like both races, I may have had a possibility of winning, and hit a false neutral there into turn one in the last one, and had to fight my way back through. But I assume we're all on the older tyre now.
Right.
I used my new tyre in the last race, so it should be a fair game for everyone, and just try and put a good 12 laps together, and hopefully that's enough.
The man sitting in second place in this one, the man with me, Wayne Maxwell. It's been a really busy day for you, Wayne. 5 points in this one. I have to ask you, what's happening with your tyres?
Look, we've got our qualifying tyre in, so we're in a reasonably good position. I've kept an eye on the opposition and stuff, so I think we're a little bit better off than them. So, we're just going to give it all in this last one, and I think to win the championship, we need to win the race. So this will be everything, the whole season down into this last race.
5 points. Yep, count it. 5 points between these guys and championship glory here this evening at Sydney Motorsport Park, the final round of the 2015 Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike Championship. Boys, they're getting ready. I'm looking forward to this one because they're racing into the evening.
We certainly are. And that point from Wayne Maxwell that he's got his qualifying tyre in qualifying, guys, no one did more than 5 laps. That's virtually a brand new tyre.
Well, will Troy Herfoss be able to do it, or will it be this man that we're looking on board shots with, Wayne Maxwell, Yamaha Racing? Remember, he won it for Suzuki, he won it for Honda, he wants to win it for Yamaha, but I tell you what, Paul Free, we've heard from him earlier, he wants Troy Herfoss, our pole sitter, Jamie Stouffer, Mike Jones and Crew Halliday on the front row of the grid.
Yeah, as with all of the two races so far today, that Glenn Allerton, Matt Walters and, of course, Wayne Maxwell back there on 8th position on the grid with a lot of work to do.
Yes, of course, the starting order is the same for all 3 races in the iPone Superbikes here at Sydney Motorsport Park, and that was based on the race results from yesterday afternoon.
The tension is in the air. The championship is on the line, and it's lights out for the final time in 2015. Keep an eye on Bike 1. He needs to carve his way from 8th position. We jump on board with him right now as we head in to turn 1 on lap 1.
Look at that sunlight there as Allerton got a good start. He's up into 3rd, but it's Jamie Stouffer again that gets a whole shot.
Yeah, and also too, Wayne Maxwell has now got the 3 rapid Kawasaki's that we saw was so quick in the last race ahead of him. He's got to try and get past all of them, and he simply has to do it early.
Around the backside of the circuit we go. I thought the first 2 races were probably the best 2 of the season. I get the feeling race number 3 is going to go better than that already. It's on further back in the field as Jones carves his way at turn 4.
And Matty Walters feeling his anger there. Right behind him too is Benny Burke. And look, the rider behind him, on board with him now, Wayne Maxwell, still in 8th place. Make that 7th.
Yeah, and he can't get past the late breaking Ben Burke on the SA Motorcycles BC Performance machine. In fact, lost a bike length or two on the way out of the corner as they come round now to another overtaking opportunity. And here is Glenn Allerton having a big look down the inside of Herfoss, helping his teammate out by pushing Herfoss back one position, and Crew Halliday closes right in as well.
Out of stay upright, the run down Dunlop heading into the triple apex left-hander known as Bell Helmets. Troy Herfoss, Team Honda Racing, currently in 3rd. He'll win the championship if the race was red flagged now.
It's 2 Hondas, 2 Yamahas and a Kawasaki as we come through to complete lap number 1 of the final race of this year. What a magnificent evening this is. The sun's almost disappeared. It's now. Here comes Crew Halliday after that crash in race number 2. And there's his teammate down the inside. It's all happening.
Crew Halliday might even actually have the newest tyres out of everybody, because he would have put not a lot of use on his tyre in that second race. So the Yamaha guys did come in with all different strategies, and we can see now that Glenn Allerton, look at him sliding the bike in. He's hit the lead ahead of Jamie Stouffer. That was a big move from Glenn Allerton. He lives just down the road, and he's very determined to try and get a good start here, and you can see him just blast off that second row of the grid. Matty Walters pulls right into his slipstream, and they simply go around the outside of a majority of the field.
Allerton right up onto the rear ducktail there of Herfoss, almost got himself out of the saddle, trying very hard. In the meantime, here's a replay through stay upright turn number 9. Look at the knee scrapers going down on Jamie Stouffer. Here comes Troy Herfoss up the inside, trying to get up the inside of Glenn Allerton. And look at Crew Halliday looking down the right-hand side, trying to catapult himself down Dunlop Straight.
Yeah, Mad Mike Jones is looking very determined to try and get ahead as well. Of course, he used his brand new tyre in that second race as well. You can see Herfoss, how hard and how early he gets on the gas. The back end of the Honda steps out, and Jones just simply blasts up the inside at the end of the Dunlop Straight.
And here comes Maxwell right up onto the rear now of our championship leader, Troy Herfoss. But all the battling is going on at the front. Glenn Allerton out in front, Jamie Stouffer. Then we've got Crew Halliday, and right behind them is this current battle. Remember
that Jamie Stouffer missed the first round of the championship. He's got a lot of work to do now, because he's just been disposed one position by Wayne Maxwell as they go down through turn 1. As you mentioned earlier, Lance, that sun glare, that's where it's probably a problem at the fastest corner of the circuit. Who's that? Troy Herfoss has run wide in turn 1 once again.
It's the second time we've seen him do it in 2 races. Down the inside goes Maxwell to pinch 4th. Is it going to be enough though? Only just. He gets back on the power out of turn number 2. So another place up, and that will change the championship once again.
And more importantly, look at the distance between Wayne Maxwell now and Troy Herfoss after that running wide in turn 1.
In the meantime, Herfoss's teammate Stouffer up the inside now of Glenn Allerton, deposes him and takes up the running.
Just got the job done. You can see Allerton let him through there now. Oh, is that the same issue from race number 2 for Herfoss?
Yeah, it looks like another false neutral, scary place to have it. A false neutral is simply when you go down through the gearbox and don't quite collect the next gear, and it is simply just angel gearing through that corner. How he managed to keep the bike off the grass there is just a real testament to his riding ability.
And look at the battle that was ensuing in front of them. Here's Maxwell now up the inside of Halliday. A replay of this down into turn number 2, Iphone corner. It amazes me that he was able to keep it on the black stuff.
Yeah, excuse me, teammate, coming through.
Back to 2 points now between Herfoss and Maxwell. Lap 8 of 12, so we're starting to close this race and the championship down for 2015 as they try and break the slipstream. Here's Mike Jones on the back of Allerton. Challenge now for second.
Jones up the inside there at the end of the straight, takes up into second place, and also he's bringing Wayne Maxwell with him. Maxwell starting to close down onto the back of his teammate now. If he can get past into 3rd place and put himself in position to try and challenge for those top 2, with Herfoss back as far as he could come from behind in this last race and take the championship right at the checkered flag.
It's going to be very important for Wayne Maxwell to make up as many places as he possibly can, irrespective of where Troy Herfoss finishes in this one, because he needs those all-important points. Remembering, he came into this one 5 points in arrears.
And remember too, in the last race when Herfoss ran wide in turn 1, the surge he came back with in the latter half of the race, he could very well do the same here. He knows that he simply has to get ahead of these guys ahead of him, and he's got a bit of free track ahead of him to try and get onto the back of Crew Halliday's R1M.
I think it's maybe time that Glenn Allerton started to play the team player here and let Maxwell past if Yamaha wants to win this championship. But I reckon Allerton's going to say, you're going to have to earn it, mate.
4th position.
Oh!
big move. That's the move we wanted to see. He gets up alongside his teammate now. This should be good enough for third as they run down to the final set of turns. So Maxwell up into a podium position.
He's also got Glenn Allerton right behind him and able to take hold of his slipstream, as it looked like Allerton just lost the front end momentarily in the middle of stay upright corner and probably in fact was lucky to stay upright.
That passing manoeuvre now makes it equal going into the final 3 laps of this race.
Now what will happen if it stays like this?
It'll be a countback. Who's had the most race wins? And I, for one, wouldn't want to be trying to do that countback because they both have had probably the most race wins out of anyone, out of all of the riders in this championship.
Here comes Stouffer up the inside, or attempting to up the inside of Mike Jones. Mike Jones, he's very aware of that. He just cruises across, kisses the apex and closes the line off for Stouffer.
And the more these two battle for the lead, guys, the more Wayne Maxwell is going to be able to catch up as they come across the top of the West End Mazda Hill now and down into turn 4. Look at the body aggression there from Jones as he tries to manhandle the Kawasaki into turn 4.
And look in the background there as they were coming over West End Mazda Hill, how far back Troy Herfoss is. He's got a mile of room to make up.
Around the backside of the circuit now, a challenge on again. So Stouffer looks to the inside and gets the job done down there at turn 6. So Jones back to second.
Ironically enough too, Matt, up the inside in Kawasaki, the Hondas are very strong in that area of the circuit.
Yeah, lucky there's not a Honda corner here because man Mike Jones will try and get back as they come down now into stay upright corner. Stouffer runs a fraction wide. Jones comes back up the inside, but Jamie got the bike squared up and fired it out of the corner. Wayne Maxwell is closing in. Every time these two put a move on each other and slow themselves down, look who's closing in from behind. He is now right on the back of Jones's machine. Can he take advantage of the slipstream and move into that top 2 and put himself in a position to take the championship victory on points?
If he does that, he needs this one extra place to be able to win the championship if the checkered flag came out now.
Oh, it's
look
on.
at that.
He's going to get that. He's going to do it.
Inside. Jones takes up the running. Maxwell was not able to go on with it there. Jamie Stouffer just too strong, and look how close he is on the apex there. He squared that corner up. This is all at about 260, 270 clicks.
Well, I thought Jamie Stouffer did his teammate a massive favour not letting Wayne Maxwell through at turn 1. He's gone back into the lead with 2 unbelievable corners strung together there, turn 1 and turn 2, and he's back into the lead with Jones all over the back of him. And at the moment, it looks like Wayne Maxwell doesn't have an answer to these two, as Glenn Allerton is now under pressure from Troy Herfoss. This could be a crucial overtake if Herfoss can get past.
Well, this is the penultimate lap, lap 11 of 12. Herfoss has got to get past Allerton here, and Maxwell's got to get past Jones, and then they'll still be even on points.
This is going to be the hardest fought last lap as down the inside goes Herfoss, and that is critical in the championship. That'll put him back into the lead.
The Honda up the inside of the Yamaha in Kawasaki corner. That could be the championship defining pass.
Well, you know that Allerton is going to come back strong, so Herfoss is going to need to get a good run out of there, unlike his teammate Jamie Stouffer, who once again went wide. The pressure is really on. I've never seen these riders make so many run wides in one lap of racing, but they're doing it because they're all simply standing on the edge of the cliff and sometimes putting both feet over.
Well, I think they're riding 12/12s here, let alone 10/10s. Out of bell helmets and up onto the main straight, the Swann Insurance main straight for the second last time in 2015.
Yeah, Jamie Stouffer on the left-hand side of the circuit too, but unable to prevent Mike Jones blowing past.
Amazing. Hands up who wants more Twilight racing. This has been incredible tonight here in Sydney, and Jones will take the lead on the final lap. Championship moment is on the line. He still needs one more position. It's Maxwell who needs this position down here at turn 2.
Well, can Jamie Stouffer do a repeat of his move in turn 1? He can! Oh, in race number 1, that is unbelievable. That's even better than Troy Herfoss's move in race number 2 to take back the lead. Jamie Stouffer is on fire.
Oh, look at Jones up over West End Mazda Hill, down into DID chains. He barnstorms his way up the inside of Stouffer and takes up the running. Stouffer comes back again.
God, this is amazing.
Do you reckon they want the race win? And look who's right into the picture now. Wayne Maxwell, can he thread the needle and go up the inside of them? He's trying to go up the inside of Jamie Stouffer. Can he do it? No! Stouffer slams the door and Maxwell loses all momentum on the way out of the corner. Here comes Crew Halliday on bike number 6.
Halliday won't want to pass him. If he does, that'll be the championship over and done with. Look at the darkie there, set down by the Honda of Jamie Stouffer.
And Herfoss is right onto the back of Crew Halliday. If he can get past, this is going to be a massive move for Troy Herfoss.
Well, down they come. This is incredible. right through the final turn, and Herfoss, it's a 1-point margin in the championship. Stouffer is going to try and get the last win of the season. Maxwell needs one more position. I don't think he's going to be able to do it in the final race. They head down the main straight for the final time in 2015, and Mike Jones is going to do 2 wins in a row here, but Troy Herfoss wins the championship in 2015.
Well, that race is a fitting end to the championship. Can we have an 8th round? Because that was unbelievable as Troy Herfoss celebrates championship victory by 1 single point in the final race of the season.
Unbelievable. And you think he's not happy?
Oh.
Plenty of rubber left. What an unbelievable race that was. Race of the year right there.
Mike Jones takes victory. Jamie Stouffer, Wayne Maxwell, Crew Halliday. Troy Herfoss, your champion, finishes in 5th. Allerton Burke, Walters Biles and Will Davidson.
Plenty of support from right around New South Wales, and isn't that fitting? Both these guys, they're good mates off the track, they're incredible rivals, and what a way to end the championship. Troy Herfoss, your 2015 champion, and he's plenty excited about this result. Hugs and backslaps right around for Herfoss and the team.
Troy Herfoss really is the #1 rider for Team Honda. Oh, Herfoss comes straight back at him.
Herfoss up the inside.
Troy Herfoss, he's going to take victory by 0.056 of a second.
Unbelievable. The bikes are even better than last year. It's so good.
Look at that up the inside. Herfoss pushes the defending champion wide. Here he comes up the inside of Jones.
Troy Herfoss aboard the Team Honda Racing entry picks up the win in race 2 at Malala. Herfoss, out of all that, still sits in 3rd position. There's nothing. Now he goes for 2nd. Oh! Superbikes absolutely going off here in 2015. From Halliday's perspective, there is Herfoss. Oh, elbows up, elbows down. We're on the last lap now as Condon leads us through. No, he doesn't.
Look at the speed of that Team Honda Racing entry.
As he looks for a pass down the inside. Oh, yes, he does. That is going to change the championship scheme once again. Troy Herfoss, he won race #1 and now becomes the governor of Goulburn as he wins race #3.
That's not supposed to be Honda territory, but Troy Herfoss manages to get up the inside.
The 2015 Swann Insurance Australasian Superbike champion, Troy Herfoss.
Oh, it was stressful, man. So stressful, but I'm so wrapped. Like 2 years ago, I asked Paul for a bike, and Glenn and Peter, all the guys from Honda, and they put something together for me, like at the last minute, really, and then signed me up this year and with the goal of winning. So I'm so wrapped, man. That's Honda's won it 2 years in a row, and for me personally, it's something I've always wanted to do, and unbelievable feeling. I know Wayne wants to win every bit as much as me, but and we've shown a lot of emotion throughout the championship, but. He's a great competitor, and there's no better way to finish the championship.
Yeah, look, I must apologise to my team. Yesterday's mistake obviously cost us dearly, starting from 8th today, and terrible track position. Sorry to the guys at Yamaha Racing, my mechanic, Warren, all the crew, amazing work. We just weren't quite there today, a couple of tenths a lap, and I put everything on the line that I could, and just fell short. Massive congratulations to Troy and all the Honda guys. They rode awesome all year, they fought hard, and massive thanks to everyone, my family, everyone that supported me. It's good to finish 2nd and a bit extra motivation come 2016.
Definitely, it's been obviously a very successful weekend this weekend, and that's how I wanted to finish. I've had a fairly good year, and to finish so well is fantastic. So it's pretty nice to stand up here on the #1 step.
Well, it doesn't get much closer than this. 375 to 374. Troy Herfoss, your champion, ahead of Wayne Maxwell. Glenn Allerton in 3rd. Mike Jones takes out the Pro-Am ahead of Matty Walters down in 7th. But between them, Jamie Stouffer and Crew Halliday with Evan Biles, Ben Burke and Sean Condon. Finishing in 10th, well, Phil Harlem, what a cracking year it's been.
I think it's been a fantastic year, Lance, and I think it's probably fitting that the last race goes down to 1 point, deciding the championship. Hopefully there's going to be more of it next year, and I can't wait for 2016.
Boys, I've thoroughly enjoyed every single race this year. For mine, that last one will go down as one of the best we've seen in a long, long time. My thanks to Lance Robertson and Phil Harlem. Looking forward to a massive 2016. I'm Matt Nolte. We'll catch you soon.